Hello, sisters and brothers. This is Talk Black to Me, and I'm your host, Sister Freedom, and I have pleasure this evening. I have ISUPK here.
That's
We're
correct.
going to be nice to each other tonight.
That's correct.
We're going to talk softly to each other tonight. I want y'all to introduce yourselves.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm General Hazayan of the ISUPK.
Captain Akada Bariam with the ISUPK.
Officer Taziah ISUPK.
And why y'all here in Wilmington?
We here in Wilmington to bring the truth to God's chosen people who are Black, Hispanic, Native Indians, to dispel the lies and the myths, and to raise up these tribes of the nation of Israel like God told us to.
Okay. So you're here to bring the truth.
That's
and
correct.
What are you saying the truth is?
The truth is this, that there are particular people on the earth, right? And those people on earth have not been told their true identity and not been told and shown who they are. A lot of lies, a lot of myths surrounding these people. These people are Black people, so-called Hispanics, so-called Native Indians. And these people compromise or make up the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, or them people in the Bible they call Hebrew Israelites.
Okay, so you came to tell us that we are Hebrew Israelites, right?
We came to tell you not only that you're Hebrew Israelites, and that because that's our heritage and where we come from, that we have to live a certain way and act a certain way that come from our Lord and Savior. You understand? And for us to change our condition, that has to be done first. We can't go further, or we can't, what's the best word I'm looking for? We can't have a future, really, without knowing where we come from.
Okay, and where did you get this information from?
From the most selling book on the earth that everybody tried to dispel or discredit, from the Bible. We get it from archaeology. We get it from history. Those things out there prove everything that's said in the scriptures in the Bible.
Okay. I'm just making sure that, okay, when you say that you, explain something to me why I've always had an issue. What do you think God is? What are you saying that God is?
What do you mean?
What do you look at God as? Do you look at, because see, me, for instance, I give for instance, I look at God as a title, okay, as for a position. Do you look at God the same way?
Okay. Let me make sure I understand what you're saying so I can answer you correctly. You want to know how we view the Lord or how we view God, right? Is
Yeah.
that what you're saying?
How
we
do you
him?
view the word
All right.
God?
Okay. God is our Father. That's a man is a man that sits on the throne of the heavens. That's how we view him.
Okay, so just to make sure, because I know you're saying that you want to tell the truth to the people, and I'm trying to make sure that I don't say anything wrong to offend you in any kind of way, because
we got tough skin, sis.
okay, because
We got
I'm a
thick
very
skin.
open person. I've been through all the schools.
Okay.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, when you say God is our Father, so if you have a father, then you also have a mother, correct?
On the earth we do.
Okay, so let me make sure I got this right mentally. We have a God where? And then where's mom?
I think best way for me to explain it is if I say this to you, and I think I see where you're going, right? We have, according to the scriptures, you know,
Okay.
everything we do and what we said, we reference from the Bible. The scriptures state that we have a Father in heaven, but we also got a physical father here on earth.
Okay.
Like how I was born from my mother and my father.
Right, so
I have
which
a
would be
physical
actually
father.
your creators.
Yeah, my physical father. You understand?
Father
My
makes,
physical
mom
father.
creates.
Yeah, you understand?
Right, I'm,
So now,
okay.
with that being said, we have a spiritual father which is in heaven, who is the Most High. Yahweh in the Hebrew. All right? I hear you, God. You want to say something? Okay.
It's cool. I'm just
Trying to
making sure.
understand.
No, I want to overstand, not understand, because that means you
Understand.
can tell me anything and I'll accept it.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, you said that you're here to make sure that you tell our people the truth. Mainly, what you're trying to tell them is what our heritage, where our heritage come from. Correct?
That's correct.
Even though that there were many tribes. So how do you distinguish? You just can't. I'm wondering, how are you saying that we are Israel? Are you saying Israelites or Hebrews?
That's correct.
It's the same?
Israelite and Hebrews, one and the same.
Okay.
We
So-
get Hebrew from our forefather Eber. You understand? And we get Israel from Jacob. Jacob comes from the same bloodline as Eber, which takes from Eber, goes up to
You're
Abraham.
talking about Abraham, right?
It goes from Eber to Abraham, from Abraham up to Jacob. That same bloodline, that same lineage. We get Hebrew from Eber, and we get Israel from a man named Jacob.
Okay. All right. I'm just making sure we're on the same page because I don't want to confuse anybody. So,
on, let's go.
God is in heaven, okay, which is so-called our Father, which personally I cannot see how we can have a father without mom. I mean, that's scientifically doesn't even make sense to me. But I know this is more of a religious type talk, so I don't want to.
Let me correct you on that if I could, please. One second.
Yes.
Not religious. I hear people say religion or religious, and when they try to title or use the ISUPK or the Hebrew Israelites, it's not a religion.
It's not.
It's not a religion. What this is, and what we teach, are the laws, the statutes, commandments that was given to us by our forefathers. That's it.
Right.
Religion, that title means to separate, to keep us apart. That's not what we do. That book called the Bible is designed to bring that nation back together again.
Right. Okay.
As
And
one
I
as a
can
whole.
understand that because what you're saying is the concepts and parables that's in the Bible are good advice. Is that what you're saying? It's good advice.
I'm gonna give you one more. Is wisdom for us.
Right. It's like different stories. Like, just and anybody could jump in when they want. Like, for instance, everything has a representation. Like a tree represents a nation, leaves represent people, fruit represents wisdom and knowledge. The snake represented a tribe. Adam and Eve, the two made people. You know, let us make man our own image. We artificially made them. And is that what you said? Like the Bible gives you, for instances, like it's like if somebody make up a story and tell you this is what happened because Trina did this, this what happened if you do this. Like if you disobey your parents, this type of thing will happen. Is that what you're saying? Like the Bible is somewhat like that?
Let me take you back a little bit on what you said. To one thing you said about Adam and Eve and making them in their own image, right? There's a big misconception that Adam and Eve were the first people on earth.
Oh, I already know that's
they
not
were not.
true.
They were not.
They're the
right?
making of the white people, but go ahead.
They were not. They were not the first people on earth. Adam was just the brother who the Most High gave his knowledge on the earth to.
Brother meaning black or white?
He was a brother. He was a black man. He was not a white man.
What?
Let me dispel one quick thing. There's nobody in the Bible, in the scriptures, and the records of Hebrew Israelites that's ever been white. Everybody has been people of color. Everybody, including Adam. You understand? Everybody's been people of color.
You gotta excuse me because of all the different teachings that I have.
Understand.
I try to make sure that when someone is saying something to me, I can understand what they're saying.
Understand.
Because if you just say certain things to me, I don't want the listening audience or myself to be confused. I know that y'all have a lot of knowledge, and I've heard you speak on some things that, I'm trying to make sure I understand. And I do try my hardest to give respect to all of the different ways of life, you know. So I don't want you to think that I'm being rude or anything. I just want to make sure that if I'm not saying something right from your teachings, that it's explained to the listening audience how you know what I'm saying, how you grasp things. Because in my teaching, it was the making of the white man.
Yeah, that's
you know,
fine.
in my teachings,
That's
because, you know, it just, from where it starts and where it ends, that's where I got it from. You know what I
understand.
mean?
Let me give you an example. I've heard that as well.
You
as
have
far
heard
as, the people in the Bible were white, or the teachings came from white men. Everybody was. I've heard a lot of things growing
And they
up.
may not even have been,
Yeah.
there were some type of creatures.
But when I got into the ISUPK and the Commander General Yohana, I found out the truth. We actually went in a book and dispelled that myth. That's number one. To be able to bring forth the truth, you got to kill the lie. And the lie of the myth that this is the white man's book, or either created by white people, or the people in there were white people, were just dispelled right away. The first thing I learned. And then by learning that, I said, okay, well, now I can really relate to what the book is because these people are like me.
Right. I don't believe that it's a white man's book. I don't. I believe that a white man plagiarized the information and put it back in the book, but I don't believe it's his information.
Okay.
I mean, what I'm saying is I believe that it's like I could take that book and rewrite it. You know what I'm saying? But I believe that the information is pertaining to us as a people. You know,
Now-
it might be a little twisted up, but I do believe that the information is pertaining to us. And the only reason why I said that is because in Galatians 4:24, I think it is, it says that Abraham, Isaac, Sarah, Ishmael, and Hagar are allegory. So, you know, it just makes me think like if that's allegory, then they mean something else. And then the Bible tells you what it means.
Okay.
You know, so
Understand,
that's the
understand.
reason why it kind of confuses me. Or is it actually a reality of people, or are they actually allegory?
Okay. Now let's clear that up for you and for the listening audience. All right. One, I'm gonna go first back to what you said about it being plagiarized, and some people believe that. As a matter of fact, a lot of brothers and sisters believe that the book was plagiarized by the so-called white man. Well, I'm gonna say this to you: if the so-called white man plagiarized this book right here prophesies his destruction, his impending slavery, and his impending extinction off the face of the earth. You understand? This book prophesies about him being the devil that the Bible speaks of, being Satan. It prophesies about him being those things. Now, if he plagiarized it, why would he
You
write
said
and keep it in there?
I'm sorry. You said it states that the white man is the devil in the book.
That's right. The
Oh,
devil
does
is
it?
Satan.
Wow.
That great red dragon. That's him.
Oh, I know that it
That's
is,
him.
but I'm just
Now-
saying I never really, you know.
It's all that's in there. As long as his upcoming slavery and extinction from the face of the earth. That's all in the Bible.
That's right.
Now, if he plagiarized it and changed things around it, why would he keep that in there?
Well, I guess I've always looked at it. If you was there, you could always write about it because I always do the time frame back. And the first Bible, if I'm not mistaken, was written 325 or 375, and it's like 600. That's like 600 years ago, 500 something years ago. And the first printed book, I'm saying printed book. And if I was there and I'm seeing everything that's going on, I probably could write about it.
Okay. Now, here's the deal. Right. This book called the Bible are scrolls or records of a particular people, right? These people are called Hebrew Israelites. And this book, right? A man named King James, who everybody say was, whatever they said he was, from white, a rapist, or he was homosexual. He was all
That's
kind
the
of
only
things.
thing I really heard about.
Yeah, but
you know.
all he did and what he did was he had these records translated. You understand? Because they was
Oh, he
written
had
in,
them translated.
He had them translated from Hebrew and Greek and Hebrew to Old Quaker English. That's all.
King James did that.
That's all he did. Yeah, let me prove it to you. Hold on one second. Let me prove it to you. Because we all like to
I'm
reference.
apologize to listen on because I didn't bring my books.
That's all right.
But this
That's
is
all right.
good, you know. I can remember a little bit of it, but you know, some things. Books written by Dr. Walter Williams and things like that, and Dr. Ben and Dr. Ali and many others.
I understand.
Yeah, well,
I understand.
Moses Maynard or something wrote the books of Moses.
Say that again.
Moses Mayum or Mayum, but I guess you know. My phone. But King James is the one that put the two books together,
You
right?
got it right.
Oh, that's what he did.
That's all he did, sis.
That's all he did, huh?
That's all he did. He didn't. People say he changed things around and
Well, he took
and-
books out.
and different things.
There's a lot of books
Hold
missing
on.
because that's why the Quran was supposed to clarify what was in the Bible, but that's a whole nother story. I have my
All right.
quirks on that as well.
Give me 1 second. Todd, can you read right here We in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, right? Page 121, King James Version. I want you to read right here. All right, but the groups they were divided in. All right.
They were divided into 6 groups.
Meaning King James got some people together, some translators, and got them into different groups. Go ahead.
3 for the Old Testament.
Meaning he had people who now want to translate the Old Testament, which was written in Hebrew. Have it translated from Hebrew to Old Quaker English. Go ahead.
2 for the New
The
Testament.
New Testament as well, because you know the New Testament was written in Hebrew and Greek. Greek was the language of that day during that time. Go ahead.
And 1 for the Apocrypha.
The Apocrypha is between the Old Testament and New Testament, which is where we get some of our high holy days, one called Hanukkah. That's in between the two. So we had people come together and translate them books and bring them into Old King English. That's all he did.
That's all he did.
And he was he was against the Catholic Church.
It was against him. Okay.
All right, that's all.
So, when did y'all get started?
Who, UPK?
Yeah.
ISUPK.
Is it ISUPK?
ISUPK. You guys forgive me. I use UPK because I'm part of it, so to me it's always just UPK. But for everybody out there, ISUPK, 1969.
1969.
That's correct.
And you don't see yourself, even though y'all in the same books, you don't see yourself compared to the Christians at all?
No. Not at all.
And you're in the same book, though.
That's correct.
You know what? I remember reading the Quran once, and the Quran said that that the Israelites, the Christians, and all will say that they're different, but they're all coming out of the same book. I just don't understand how.
Okay.
How are you different? What is it what do they do that's different than you? Is what
Okay. All right. Christ said this: "You're gonna know them by their fruits." Right. When you look at the Christian church, you look at all the hypocrisy going on in the Christian church. Meaning what? Look at, they talk about how they godly and how they about the Lord. You see all the molestation going on in the Christian church of young men, of young women in that church.
Right.
You understand? Now, a lot is going. A lot of people are being brought out in the open for that. You understand? Which is now turning our young men into homosexuals. You understand? Our young women into being promiscuous, for
The
lack of better
church
words.
does?
Yeah, the church do. Yeah.
I don't know if the church turns the women into being. I think that they allow people to come into the church that are homosexual.
Let me
Why,
give you an
I do
example.
not know, but they do.
Let me give-
when
eh,
the
now-
Bible truly speaks against it, but they
The Bible
do.
does what?
It speaks against it.
It does what? It speaks against it, right?
Right.
So do we. You know why we speak against it? Because the Lord speaks against it.
That's
So
right.
why did the Christian church accept it?
That's right.
I don't know why the Christian church. Maybe they. I don't know. I'm not. I haven't even asked them as to why they
Yeah,
accepted this.
yeah.
It is kind of puzzling to me, but you
So
know,
that's-
I guess if they don't, they can be sued today.
Nah, you can't because we don't accept it.
Well, I don't know. I do know of situations where people have been sued
Yeah, we don't
for
accept it.
discrimination. I mean, I know you've heard about that type of thing, right?
Yeah,
But
but we
people
don't
have been
accept.
sued
we
for
don't- we don't accept it.
discrimination, for not allowing homosexuals to come in certain places.
Let me say this to you: a homosexual can come into our school. That's no problem. But when he come into school, he's not going, or he or she is not going to stay a homosexual.
That's right.
They're going to
You
learn
can
how to
actually
change their
change
life.
from that?
That's correct. We have had people come to the school, they have changed their lives and now do what the Lord say do. And the reason why is because the Bible states it.
That's
Not from
right.
what we say or what we think, but from what the Lord says. You understand? The difference between us and the Christian church is that it's one word that I like to use, it's called hypocrisy or hypocrites. You can talk one thing and you can say one thing, but if you ain't living it, then that makes you what? The hypocrite. That makes what you teach full of what? Hypocrisy. What we read in here, when we teach people, is what we live. You understand? I'm not going to
And
tell.
you really believe in your heart that it comes from the Lord.
That's correct. The reason is because this book right here, you can take this book right here and relate it to today's time right now.
You know
Everything
what?
in here. Everything to today's time.
Because it keeps happening over and over and over again, the same thing over and over. I think us as a people just have not changed ourselves. And that's the reason why it just keeps happening over and over and over again. I don't look at it as being prophecies. I just look at it as being unchanged.
Let me ask you this question, sis. In your eyes, what will we have to do to change? Since you said we are not unchanged.
I think we should
what we have to do?
separate. I think we should separate ourselves from whomever we think is our enemy or whoever we feel is our enemy. I feel as though that we should just separate ourselves from them. We should stop shopping in their stores. It may be a little difficult, but we should stop, start our own companies, our own banks, growing our own food. I think we should just leave them alone.
Now, what you
That's
said,
just me personally.
No, I feel you. And a lot of black people feel that way. But what you said is in the Bible for us to do as a people.
Yeah, I believe that, we should just separate ourselves from them. Nothing as good has happened, but I just don't, me personally, what I believe is that whatever you gave me in slavery, you can have back. And I believe that, they gave us Jesus in slavery. They gave us their God in slavery. They gave us all these stories in slavery that I feel as though that they plagiarized. I feel as though that they stole the stories.
Now,
They don't have a soul. How could they have made that?
Now, when you say they, you're talking about
Our
the
enemy.
so-called white man.
I'm talking about our enemy.
All right? That's who our enemy is. The Lord said in the Bible, he's our enemy.
Okay.
And that we be sold to our enemy on slave ships and auction block. That's in the Bible.
Yes,
So
it is.
Let's make it clear that the so-called white man, Esau in the Bible, he's our enemy. Now, what you said is correct. The Lord said about separate. You understand? Meaning get ourselves out from under him and come together as a people. Now, one thing that's not going to happen, and the Lord has shown us over and over again, that we can't separate and come together unless we come together first.
Right, and
You
I
understand?
do understand
like
that.
it's a lot of different philosophies and doctrines out here.
Right.
That's prevalent. And a lot of people, a lot of I say so-called knowledge, but with all this going on, why can't we come together?
Well, I think it's just mental trauma. We've been traumatized. We don't have the correct frame. We're not in the right correct frame of mind because of what took place in slavery. Our positions have been reversed. It's a lot of reasons why, but all of it is due to the treatment of slavery.
Now,
You know what I mean?
that's correct. The Bible states about the son of perdition being revealed. He's been revealed as a so-called white man. Now, you made a comment about slavery and how they gave us their Jesus and made some things up in slavery, right? What you're saying is correct on this level because the image that they push around the earth and that image of what you have in the churches today of the white Jesus, all that happened during the Renaissance era, meaning they came into power after being out of power for so long in Europe. And Pope Rodrigo Borgia commissioned Michelangelo to go all across the earth in the whitewashed pictures, in the whitewashed paintings. He took the prophets and the images of Christ and the prophets of being black men, which goes along with the Bible, to being white people.
I'm
And when they did that,
believe that. I'm saying I'm a do. I
yeah,
say
when
I
they
do.
did that came back here, that followed us into slavery. And which is why our people believe that that's what comes along with the Bible and with Christianity.
And,
That image reflects the knowledge they teach.
I can agree to that. I really can. I can see what you're saying because we see Jesuses all the time. I don't believe that there was ever a man that ever walked the face of the earth by the name of Jesus. But I do believe that there are people that walk the face of the earth that fits the category of Jesus. No, I don't believe that it was somebody that walked on water. I do believe that those stories came from because the sun trickles down and walks on water. S-U-N. You know, the Bible speaks on God being the sun, actually, S-U-N. But as far as a man that was speaking to two people and it turned into, I think, 5,000 people, Jesus supposed to 500 people or something.
No,
in
not
the Bible.
the people, meaning he was able to feed people.
No, feeding
Feeding
food
them
for
once a week.
knowledge, not food, actual food. It's food for knowledge. The Bible is not a literal book. It's a symbolic book. You can't read it literal because it would make no sense. It would sound like a cartoon book. What I'm saying is it is a symbolic book. He made the blind man see, meaning somebody that was walking around with no knowledge of self. And he gave them knowledge in order to but open to see, like, oh wow, I never looked at it like that type of thing. Not that he made the blind man see.
No, that's not necessarily true.
That's
Give
right.
me the scripture in the book of John. We talk about the blind man from the birth.
Come on.
You know, the John 7.
Is it the same story? Is
91.
it the same story we talking about in
Yes, it
Matthews?
is. No,
I believe it's, you know,
it's
the
one in
story.
Matthews, but it's also one too in John that speak about it.
Why was
9:1.
this man born blind?
Yeah, you got it?
John 9:1.
But it's not the same story, though, is it?
Yeah, it is. Hold on.
Okay.
You got it? Yeah, read this right here. I think this is it right here. Read that. John 9, 1, 2, and 3.
John chapter 9, verse 1. And Jesus passed by. He saw a man which was blind from his birth.
Which is what?
Blind from his birth.
No, it said he was blind from his birth, meaning he was born blind. This man was born blind. It didn't
Without
say
no
he,
knowledge of self
no,
from birth.
no, it didn't say that.
A lot of black people are like that. You don't
But
agree?
it didn't say.
But you
not-
don't agree that people are blind from birth? You said you're here to tell them who they are.
Yeah, that's true.
So you
But
don't see
here,
them
it
being
ain't-
blind?
They are blind. I mean, they lacking the knowledge of the Lord. But this here is saying he's blind from birth. It can only mean one thing. He came out not being able to see.
Let him finish.
Go ahead.
What he's reading.
And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin, this man or his parents?
Why did they ask him who did sin? Meaning this. They know that if you committed sin, you get paid for that sin back here on earth. The myth of heaven and hell is a myth. It's not real. You payment for what you did right is right here on earth.
And you
your
see-
payment for what you did wrong is right here on earth. So they're saying, who did sin? Did this man sin? Or did his parents sin? Because we pay for what our forefathers have done as well. So they're asking first, who did sin his parents? Meaning if his parents did something wrong, it trickled down to that baby, where the baby suffered because of what their parents did. Or if it's him, meaning he did something wrong in the life before.
Or it
You
could be
understand?
that the
Reincarnation.
parents sinned by not telling him the information. So from birth, he didn't even know. It's like as if Jesus was talking
you
to
hear
him.
what you just said? You said if his parents didn't tell him information, how can they tell him information if he's in the womb?
From birth,
From birth.
they should have been telling him knowledge of self.
But from birth, he was blind. From the time he came outside of his mother, he could not see.
I guess he couldn't if they didn't give him no information. I'm just saying there's other ways you could look at it. You don't have to just look at it in one way. I'm saying even though that you're saying he was blind from birth,
Right?
I was blind from birth because I didn't have the information or the knowledge that I have now. So now that I have the information, my eyes are open. You see what I'm saying? So I don't look at Jesus probably as you do. I look at Jesus as justice. I look at Jesus actually plural. I look at like, for instance, I could use Khalid Muhammad or Malcolm X, or somebody that gave us information that we didn't have. I mean, I'm just looking at. I can look at it a different way. I
I
don't
understand
always
what
look
you're
at
saying.
it. Okay.
But let's go back over this one more time. Go ahead and read, brother.
Who did sin, this man or his parents? That he was.
Now, I explained to everybody out there when it says who did sin. Why are the disciples asking Christ, who was the one who sinned? Was it the mother, was it the father? Or was it the son? Go ahead.
That he was born blind.
That he was born blind, meaning he couldn't see, coming out of his mom's womb. Meaning he literally couldn't see. Go ahead.
Jesus answered, Neither have this man sinned, nor his parents, but that the works of God should be made manifest in him.
Meaning the what? The what?
The works of God.
And the works of the Most High will be manifest in this man right here. Why is Christ saying that? Because that man who was born blind, Christ healed him so he can see. Those works that the Most High you talking about right there is that show that that Christ is the one who the Lord sent on this earth. You understand? With that power to heal people. You understand? To heal the nation of Israel. You understand? To make those works clear. So it's letting you know that, yeah, he was blind. Yeah, Christ did heal him of his blind. They didn't say Christ told him. It didn't say that. They didn't tell him he gave him knowledge of self. It said he healed his blindness. You understand? To make Christ manifest. I mean, make it clear that this is the one who the Lord sent, who was prophesied to come in the Old Testament. All right?
I thought it was somewhere in there where Jesus was saying that the one that he had already came, Emmanuel, and something about John the Baptist was Emmanuel, and it's somewhere in the book as well.
And Isaiah talk about Emmanuel. John the Baptist prophesied about Christ coming. He paved the way for Yahweh to come. That was his point. That was his purpose. To get everybody ready for Christ's return.
So you believe that if we go by this book, that everybody will be on the right path?
I not only do I believe it, I live it. Meaning this. Meaning, okay, let me give you an example. before the truth, and most like most brothers and sisters, when they come to the truth, before then, we living out here in society, going about our daily lives. And any black person, when they feel about black people, are going to see the destruction about us, right? Going to see how we dying or whatever, right? But everybody is too afraid to really go to the root of the problem. Not gonna say everybody, but some are not. Like how you said to separate. Most people don't want to separate. They want to stay right where they at.
Out of fear, which is
Out
the
of fear,
mind killer.
yeah, out of fear. Now, and they don't want to know really truly who they are. There's different schools of thought out here as far as philosophies and doctrines on how to change the life or change things going on. But I haven't seen one change a brother's life or a sister's life like I have the Bible. Let me give you an example. What's prevalent amongst us as a people that's going on amongst black people today in America? We are dying at a very alarming rate. We have no brotherhood at all amongst our people.
No.
Even though we talk about it, even though these schools of thought may try to bring it up, it's not reflected on how we live and where we live, right? But when I look in that Bible, in that scriptures, and follow examples of Christ that we've been taught about, commanding during Yohana, the first thing and the greatest thing that we've been taught by commanding during Yohana is this, that they're gonna know you disciples of Christ by how you treat one another. You understand? By how you gonna take care of one another, how you gonna love another brother, sister. I might love that brother so much that I don't wanna see him hurt or harm. You know what? That's my brother. I would give him before I take for myself. You understand? My brothers are my brothers. I would not want to deal with his woman who may be flirting with me. And like, listen, I'm not gonna deal with her. That man is my brother. You know what I mean? I check her on what she's doing. You will put your brother above yourself, which is what we do in ISUPK.
So you want for your brother or you want for your sister, what you want for yourself.
And I want them to have more than what I have. You understand? That's how we're gonna build this nation. Because right now everybody saying, well, it's all about, you know, they holler about the Lord and Christ and God or whatever power they serve. But reality, to be real, there's a lot of selfishness going on.
Oh yeah, I agree with you.
You
A lot
understand?
of selfishness. I just was telling someone, y'all, this just with this election that we just had recently, you played all the parts of the bad people in the Bible. You had the temptation from the devil. You had the denial. You had the snake. And you had Judas. Y'all played all the parts. You know, I think that the book is a good book as far as advice is concerned. You know what I mean? I come from an Islamic background as well as Christian background. And I also think that Islam has a lot to offer. You know what I mean? Every school of thought that I have been through, I feel as though that the teachings that I got from the Nuwabian nation had wonderful things. The teaching that I have from the Nation of Islam had wonderful things to offer. And again, I think that I look at them now, religion, and the way these different people don't say their religions, but I look at them as tribes. And I believe that nature wants us all to come together as one. This is the way I look at it. I don't believe in spook stuff. You know, I look at my ancestors as my angels. I don't believe in what you would say. I look at God the same way I would possibly look at Santa Claus. Knows when you've been sleeping, knows when you're awake, knows when you've been good or bad, so be good for goodness sake. You up in heaven, he's in the North Pole, you got angels flying and helping you out. He got elves helping him out. You know, I don't look at, I think it's a disrespect for something we can't even comprehend to give it a name. It's something we can't even mentally comprehend, but we keep putting this God, he, and he's pronoun for a man, and the balance of life is not there. There's no mom. You know, you cannot have a he without a she. The balance, it makes absolutely mentally no sense. I've never understood it. I'm not going to say how old I am, but in all these years, I've never understood that. How can you have a he without a she? And a lot of it, even to have a God that we have screamed for many of days and many of nights that don't come to your rescue? And why is it that only one people, your so-called special people, are held in such bondage? Or, I mean, I can kind of see it a little bit why we would be punished. You know, we have recreated the creation of nature. That's number one. And we have started worshiping man. I'm sorry. And in Deuteronomy, it does say that we started worshiping wood and stone, and I do see the wood as being the cross, and I do see the stone as being the Kaaba, personally. Now, I'm going to say personally.
Perfect.
What I'm saying is I can see why we would be punished because we started putting our trust in man and not in nature, not in, we don't give praise anymore to the skies and the clouds for sending us rain, to the sea for giving us fish, for the trees for giving us plants and fruits. We things that kept us nourished, we don't give the sun, the most thing that gives us life, the sun. We give no praise to the sun, but we give man that does the same thing we do all this grace. That bothers me. Okay. Because I think it's a disrespect.
Okay. Now you touched on some very good things, right? Now I'm gonna try to replay back what you said. I'm gonna go back to the first thing you said about the whole voting thing, right?
The what?
You said voting.
Well,
about
it was an election, and I feel as though that people played the different parts of the Bible. That's why I say the Bible is a good source of it kind of.
But do you know the Bible states that we should not be voting?
I don't know why it would say that.
Because let me give it to you. Give me Deuteronomy 17:5. You got it? We're talking about voting. Let me see.
And did y'all want to take a break halftime?
Whenever you're ready, sis. Whenever you're ready.
And then come back in. It would be fun.
Whenever you're ready. I'm sorry, brother. 17 and 15.
Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 15. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose.
Now, these people in the book of Deuteronomy are the ones who left Egypt with Moses. These are all the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And the book of Deuteronomy is laws and statutes that God gave us to follow. And the Lord is saying, don't put nobody over you that the Lord didn't choose. You understand? The voting process, the process they have here in a land called America, has not benefited us, not one iota. We went from being segregated to having our own, to being integrated now, and we are now more destroyed with death, with murder, with diseases, lack of jobs. Our neighborhoods look like war zones. You understand?
Right into the trap.
When we integrated. So the Lord is saying, read it again from the top, brother.
Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy power shall choose, one from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee.
Meaning that person who's going to be the king over us is going to come from us. You understand me? It's going to be from us, going to be from our lineage, not another nation. You understand? Not another people. You understand? The black man and the white man are two different people. You know, we two different races. So why are we voting his system that has not benefited us when the Lord said don't do it?
Well,
you understand?
In order for us not to do it, then we must separate.
Yes.
Because if we are stuck in the system, then we have no other choice but to vote.
No, we don't.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
By us not voting, when something does happen, we at that point cannot blame anybody but ourselves.
You know what
because we have to realize that we are at this point not in a group away from them. We're still in the system. So we have to do something to help ourselves. Other than that, we're just laying down.
But let me say this to you. If we don't vote and things happen, you know what it do? It forced us to come together.
That's what just happened to us.
It forced us to come together. So it is in our benefit not to vote. You know why? It's going to make us now come together.
We do need
and
to
not
come
depend
together.
on no other people, no other race, but depend on ourselves. We got every resource in the ghetto for us to survive. Every resource. We got the brothers, they can be our military.
Yes.
You understand?
I
The
agree.
sisters, they can cook and have restaurants, all kinds of things going on.
I
The
agree.
houses we can all fix up.
I
We have
agree.
everything we need to survive. So why do we got to survive off another people and what they say? We can do it ourselves.
I said we should separate. So
That's what I'm talking
so
about.
I'm
That's
agreeing
what I'm
with
talking
you
about. That's what
with
I'm talking
that.
about. That's
That's
right.
making sense.
That's right.
That
All
is
right.
making a lot of sense.
So you said you want to take a break? Did it say you
On
wanna take a break?
halftime, I want us to take a break. I don't know if we went past the halftime. We may have.
All right.
Okay, listening audience, we are back. I'm your host, Sister Freedom, and I have ISUPK here.
That's
and
right.
I'm excited.
That's right.
I'm
Most
so
High in
glad we're
Christ.
having a quiet interview. But I do want to ask you something
Come on.
now.
Come on.
And this is about now we only got a little bit of time left, so let's get into the meat of things.
Let's get into the meat.
Why is it always controversy when y'all are in public with others, trying to get them to understand what you're saying? Why is it controversy all the time?
Because it's the truth, right? And when you are speaking the truth, it's going against the very fabric of the society which they have built in a land called America. You understand? We're going against the very fabric of it through what the Lord gave us in ISUPK under command of General Yohana. So it's going to be controversy. They're not going to want to agree with us. They're not going to want to see it. And the Bible clearly states that the ones who will cause us the most controversy will be your own people.
But what I'm saying is, it might be your delivery as well. Because if someone doesn't understand what you're doing, and okay, for instance, the Sabbath, okay, as I stated, my mother's Seventh-day Adventist, okay, on the Sabbath, you know, most of the time I'm not used to people doing anything, not even getting on the telephone, you know what I mean? No shopping, no nothing, everything is done before the Sabbath comes in. And to ask about the Sabbath, y'all gave another reason. You like you were saying that you don't have to be in on the Sabbath. You don't have to be quiet and laid back on the Sabbath.
Okay. It's easy to answer. And I'm going to paraphrase two scriptures. One in the book of Exodus, the 20th chapter, where it says, the Sabbath is a day given to us for rest.
Right.
You understand? Rest from work. From work. Now, when you work, because we get paid for working, right? Serve our work, right?
Okay.
Now, Christ said in the book of Matthew, the 12th chapter, when he was questioned about his disciples picking corn on the Sabbath and eating, right? And Christ told them, well, they doing the work of the Lord, which is the priestly duties in the Bible. The priests in the Bible are allowed to do the work of the Lord on the Sabbath because they're doing the work of the Lord. When we are out there teaching on the Sabbath, we are doing the work of the Lord. You understand? Teaching the Lord's chosen people.
But why do you call that
understand?
teaching?
Because it is.
But it's a way to teach, and then it's a way to sound defensive. So how do you expect somebody to feel you and understand you and try to be a part of you if you're yelling and screaming at them?
You know why? You know how? And I'm going to say it's a problem with my brothers. Because if they sit back and listen, then they get the information.
That's right.
I'm going to tell you why I don't sit back and listen. Because today's society have turned brothers from being men who are hardcore and can deal and men of war to being very emotional.
That's right.
Brothers get upset because they're emotional. Now, I expect sisters to get upset because sisters naturally emotional. Certain things they hear they ain't going to want to like or understand. They get emotional. I understand that part there. But men should not be emotional. Men should sit back and decipher what's being said. You understand? Without emotions. The controversy comes because of emotions. You understand?
Right, but it seems like it's coming from something that you're saying.
But what we saying comes from the Bible. Like, I don't go out there and say nothing how I feel. I go out there and tell you what the Lord says.
No, but it sounds like you're going and interpreting what you feel as though that's being said in that book. And I'm, again, not going to say that the Lord is saying it because it sounds like a disrespect to me. Now, you might say...
Now, tell me why.
I said to me because I look at you, I've seen where they call people Lord. I don't want to call something I can't even comprehend. I'm not going to give it a gender. I'm not going to give it a Lord or a God, you know, because it's disrespectful as far as I'm concerned. And I would, and really and truly, you know, we can't even comprehend as to why we're here except through our parents. I mean, so, you know, it just...
Yeah, I was at 55, 8, 10. Now...
You can give me that, but I'm still saying that book was written by a man.
That's correct.
Like all the rest of them were, you know what I mean? And I
correct.
can't comprehend what I cannot comprehend. The only thing I can comprehend is what I see, and that's the sun and Mother Nature, okay? So, you know, that's just how I feel, because I mean, if there's a God or a Most High, I think the slaves, you know, you ask the slaves, I don't think they would have agreed to it. I mean, you know, you being beat, you being tortured, and you trying to say, well, look, if my parents did that or my forefathers did something, don't blame me. You know what I'm saying? So.
I got you. I'm going to take you back on what you said. Just to answer a couple of things. One, when you brought up about, when I asked you about how do you feel about it, and I asked you that for a reason, because when you go into you or how you feel, it's about what's good and dear and personal to you, your concept and your feelings, right? Now, the big problem we run into is when we go into how we feel or what we want or how we want things to be. And we got to understand something. Our Lord and power don't go off of how we feel or what we think. He go off of, you got to do what I say do. And if not, there's a repercussion. Much like if you have your child. If you tell your child to be home at a certain time and they're not there because they did what they wanted to do, what comes next from you?
I understand what you're saying. Well, I don't.
Punishment.
Right, some form of punishment.
Some form of punishment, right, from you. Our Father, Lord in heaven, same exact way. He wants us to do what he say do. Because by doing what he say do is what's going to give us life versus the death of we living. Read it for me, Isaiah 55, 8.
Isaiah chapter 55, verse 8. For my thoughts are not your thoughts.
Meaning the Most High not thinking how we think. You know what I mean? Which is why it cuts to the heart of you and your and me and my. You understand? Go ahead.
Neither are your ways my ways.
Meaning the way we want to do things, the way we think about things are not the Lord's ways. Go ahead.
Saith the Most High.
Go ahead.
For as the heavens are higher than the earth,
Go ahead.
so are my ways higher than your ways.
Meaning the Lord's ways are higher than ours. So we can't even begin to say, well, I think this or I think that. You understand? It's got to be what the Lord says and what the Lord wants for us as a people. That's what we have to do. You understand?
And I understand what you're saying.
Right.
And like I said, I'm personally saying I do believe that the Bible does have things in it that are good for us, especially if you took it from somewhere else. You're just repeating the same thing that they said. Because I know about the 42 negative confessions and, you know, things that came from Kemet. So, you know, I just look at things maybe a little different than you do. I'm just saying a controversy. Calling women names. Not saying you did. I'm saying I've heard some groups disrespecting, the sisters. And it does make it emotional reaction. Why does that have to be?
Hold on 1 second. You want to say something, brother?
You know,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sister Freedom, I did want to ask you a few things that you said. I want to ask you a question as well. You had said that you don't respect something that you don't know about, and how could you call something Lord that you can't perceive or overstand? I believe you put it, right? So my question, you said you gonna only understand or believe what you see. You said you only see the sun and Mother Nature.
Of course, actions and things that come with
So
nature.
my question now is, what is the main action you see going on in the black community right now among us? The main action.
Well, we don't have unity. That's number one. I see killing.
Kill-
I see that
if
the
I
black
could.
men don't have no jobs.
Killing from who?
The enemy, of course, and
Now-
ourselves.
Now I'll take this, Sister Frida, you said killing from the enemy, which to us is the white man, the police department in America, murdering young black men
Yes.
with no warrant. Now what if I told you, Sister Frida, that the Lord deserves your respect, because in this Bible we can show you where the Lord said they will hunt our steps and murder us and slay us in the streets today. And now you can respect that because you see it every day with your own eyes.
I'm not saying that you cannot show me that, because I believe that it's happening before. I believe that everything that's happening now, even with the amount of the young boys that are being killed, see, I'm a very spiritual person, so I think of things differently. You know, there was a time during supposedly in the Bible of Jesus' time where all the boys were being killed. That's one era. Then in Moses' time, all the boys were being killed. That's another era. Now we're in another era, which now we're in the age of Aquarius, and all the boys are being killed again. I mean, it's like it just keeps a cycle of keep happening over and over again. That doesn't mean that I'm not saying that what you're saying is incorrect, because I can see where it can make some form of sense. But see, me personally, I'm not giving a gender what I cannot comprehend.
Okay.
You know, that's all. That's the only thing that I'm saying. I don't want to disrespect the Most High. That's what I'm saying. I'm not giving it a gender. I'm not saying he. I'm just saying because I can look at you and see, as I look at it, you're a God. You see what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this. I completely understand what you're saying, my freedom, but if you say you can't call it a he, freedom, I'm sorry. How could you say Mother Nature? There's no one that stated that there's a mother of nature. That's just something that society has put in place to say that the creator of nature is a mother, when that's not even concrete evidence, like you saying that the Bible is not concrete evidence.
Do you know of any man that produces life?
Oh, yes.
What?
You're looking at one.
You don't produce life, honey.
Oh, indeed.
No, you
Sister
make
Frida,
life,
you do.
but the creation happens in the womb of the woman.
Can it happen without me humbling you?
Well, I don't want to get into a scientific back and
All right.
forth thing,
Could
because we know that
could
we
I
have
read the scripture?
Sure you can. But what I'm saying is, when I say Mother Nature, it's because we look at the world as the womb, okay? As the Bible said, do not disrespect the womb that bore you, okay? So I can look at it as either mother or the earth. The earth has a womb. Mother Nature, she's letting everything, like the sun gives energy to the world, and Mother Nature, she's growing everything on the planet, is what I'm saying.
Once again,
That's
I understand.
why I'm saying I look at it as balance. I never look at it as one. It's balance. Most High means it could be he, she, or she, he, but it's balance. It's never he. Because it would make no sense, would make no sense to have he without she.
I understand what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just trying not to disrespect.
The point I always try to bring out, Sister Freedom, is that there's no evidence of the philosophy of Mother Nature, just like you're saying that there's no evidence that God is a father. What I'm saying to you, Sister Frida, is that we go through these scriptures in the ISUPK under Commander John Yohana and teach black people in these streets that the evidence for our suffering, the evidence for the black woman aborting children in the black community, our drug depression, our oppression.
You don't think nature does that too?
The evidence of why it happens is in the Bible. The evidence is not, and another thing is that the Bible is real science. The Bible is real accurate science, not what you get in textbooks in schools, but Science in the Bible proves what goes on in the atmosphere and the earth and things like that. But what I'm trying to get the point over to you is that the scriptures
and I'm not
prophecies.
trying to take any position from the male species.
I understand that. I
not
understand
at
that.
all.
What I'm saying is that these scriptures prove who we are and what's going on, and prove that the Bible is a real book. Like, it cannot be debated or refuted.
Why do you keep saying under General Yohana, you just read to me that you're not supposed to vote or put anybody higher than you that's on your level? But
because General Yohana is the head of the ISUPK and the head of the whole nation of Israel.
That's right.
And the reason being is that, you know, the Lord.
He's over top of everybody. Because I would never be able to see it that way because he.
Because of what? Because he's a man?
The same, no, because he's the same as I am. You just read that. Didn't you just say
now,
that?
I'm going to say this to you. He is not the same as all of us. I'm going to tell you why.
Please.
People try to say, well, different things about that, but in reality, this is one man who, when the truth was attacked and fell, and lies started to try to overcome the truth, he's one man who stood strong for this truth and didn't let it go. And held on to it. And because he held on to what was originally taught to him by the men who started the ISUPK, when everybody else fell, made him be the head of the nation because everybody fell. Everybody fell out of their place. Now, the Bible speaks about, Bible speaks about, Christ told Peter, you're going to be the rock on whom I build this church when I leave. He told Peter, occupy till I come, meaning you occupy, you're going to stand this ground. You're going to hold this ground. And you're going to stand strong in what I give you until he returns. You understand? And by doing that, meaning we're going to occupy, and we're going to hold this ground, and we're going to organize. We're going to come together, and we're going to build a nation how Christ said for to be built until he returns. And that's what Commander General Yohana is doing for us. He's the one who's standing there. He's still strong in it. He organizes, giving direction, having things done. You understand that? You're going to honor and respect for doing that. And he is the head of the nation.
We're going to have to have a part two. Because I want to know, have you ever studied Islam? Because it's a beautiful way of life. You ever studied it?
Okay.
You ever got into it?
I'm going to say this to you. I have a lot of family that's in Islam.
No, you personally yourself.
I have not.
Any of the teachings?
I have not studied Islam. I know of it. But here's the reason why I don't. One, the Lord said for us not to do it. And two, I think Islam is a super great religion for people who are of the Arab people. Not for black, not for Hispanic Native Indians. You understand me? Because I'm going to say this to you. While we think Islam is the right way to go, or it's a good way, you look at it by their works. So I'm keep saying it to you. Look at what's going on. The reason why I said my family, a lot of us into Islam, is because my family was in Islam are drug dealers, they are murderers, and they are killers.
Well, I'm sorry for interrupting you again, but we're going to have a part two. Because it was some more questions I wanted to ask you that I didn't get the opportunity to ask you tonight. And I hope we get an opportunity to do this again very soon.
All you gotta do is let us know.
Okay. And again, I'm your host, Sister Freedom, and I enjoyed this session with ISUPK. I do want to do this again, and you can see them every Saturday from what time?
From 1 to 4.
In front of Rodney Square.
In front of Rodney Square on Saturdays. All right?
And they'll be nice to you. If not, call me. I'll give y'all my phone number. All right,
now, this Saturday, we won't be there because we have a high holy day that we're going to celebrate in Philadelphia. So we're not going to be there this week.
Okay.
All right?
Okay. Well, I hope y'all got that information. Peace. I enjoyed it. Okay.
So do we.
All right. Peace. Y'all have a good night. Shalom. Welcome, brothers and sisters. I am your host, Sister Freedom. I have a co-host tonight. Would you introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Brother Harout Bey from Newcastle, Delaware. I represent the conscious community and the uplifting of our people.
Thank you. And tonight, which is the second time around, I have my brothers here from the Israelite camp, ISUPK. And I've been getting a lot of people saying some reviews on the last show. So I was hoping General Yohana could be here, but he's under the weather. So please do not think, brothers and sisters, that he will not be here, because he will be. But tonight, we've had to take a substitute, which is just as powerful. So we have some questions to ask because these gentlemen are now in our city, and they have some information to offer our people for the upliftment of our people. And me, and everybody knows who I am and how I am, I need to make sure that what you're saying is correct for our people. And if it's not, it needs to be straightened. So we can make sure that we're on the same page with information. Can you introduce yourselves, please?
Thank you. Well, first of all, I'm not as powerful as Commander General Yohana, but I am happy to be here. My name is 12 Shield General Mahayaman. I'm from the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, established in 1969 at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York City.
That's right.
Also, I have an officer here, Officer Knock. What's your rank, brother?
1,000, sir.
Officer rank, he's an officer of 1,000 from the Israelite School of UPK. Officer Tazayawan, what's your rank?
Officer 500.
Officer of 500, also representing the Israelite School of UPK, and he is also the camp leader in the city of Wilmington, Delaware.
Okay. Y'all have such beautiful names. What does your name mean?
Trustworthy. Officer Knock, your name?
My name means to relax or recline.
Relax or recline. That's also Noah in the Hebrew, correct?
Noah
in the Hebrew, Tazayawan.
The mountain of the holy mountain of Zion.
Well, I can see why they call you a mountain.
Well, that's not the reason.
Big. Really big there.
His name has nothing to do with his height.
No, I was saying that. I understand it means power, but, you know.
That's right. He's an excellent brother, regardless of how tall he is.
Okay, yes, he is. I've spoken with him
You know
several times, and we've dialogued on a lot of
I
information.
know you know. Right.
Okay.
He told us a lot about you and what a wonderful sister you are.
Thank you.
And I'm very happy to be here tonight, and we're very happy to do this interview with you tonight.
Okay.
Okay,
Now let's get into it.
let's do it.
I've been seeing a lot of things on YouTube. Some things I'm pleased with, some things I'm not. Of course, I'm a woman,
I understand.
so I'm not going to be pleased with if I see any form of disrespect done to the black woman. Okay, I know you may have your reasons for why you may feel as though it's necessary, but in my eyes as mother, I'm never going to see any reason that it is necessary to disrespect the black woman. Okay. Also, can you explain why you're here in Wilmington doing this?
Well, the reason that we're here in Wilmington is because we were ordered by our king. Our king is who the world calls Jesus Christ.
Right.
Years ago, the men who set up the Israelite School of UPK found out that Jesus Christ was actually a black man from the tribe of Judah.
Right.
And not only is he and was he a black man, but he is the most revolutionary black man to ever walk the face of the earth. And we learned through his teachings and what he taught the Israelites of his day that his doctrine was the only doctrine that has ever and could ever free a people from under the subjugation of the white man,
Right.
which is what he did. And through learning that, we began to come into the truth. As we came into the truth, we followed Commander General Yohana, who taught us what Jesus Christ, a black man, taught him, and we got off of drugs, and we stopped selling drugs, and we stopped committing murders, and we stopped stealing, and we stopped lying, and we stopped raping, and we stopped child molesting, and we stopped being the plague that all of us were before we came into the truth.
But you're saying at one time you were a child molester, a rapist.
No, I'm not saying that. But
and
I'm
a drug
saying that,
addict.
no, it's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying the UPK is the only solution for child molestation and drug addiction, and the Christian church and every other organization promotes it.
Right.
And you're not saying that that you
No.
at first didn't want to stop doing this?
No, not at all. But what I'm saying is this. In America, our people are taught to child molest. You understand? We're taught to do it. We're taught to rape. And that's the only way that I think any logical mind could understand how much we do it. Even in a small city like this, Wilmington, Delaware, which is a small city comparatively to the other cities in America. Wilmington, Delaware is number 4 in cocaine use in America. Wilmington, Delaware is number 5 in heroin use. Now you think about how small Wilmington, Delaware is. But Wilmington, Delaware has an extremely high amount of black people.
Okay, so what you're
comparatively.
saying, okay, now I
Please,
get what you're saying.
you get my point. Meaning,
I understand what you're saying.
Look
You're
at what
saying-
our people do.
Right, you're saying this is the position that we're left in because of the struggle that we're going through.
Not
that has
quite.
caused our minds mentally.
quite.
That not quite?
Not quite. It's not. This is the condition that we're left in, not because of the struggle that we're going through. What we teach in the Israelite School of UPK is that we are struggling against an enemy who has a concerted effort to make us drug addicts, drug dealers, homosexuals, and child molesters.
Right, so you're saying the same thing I'm saying in different words.
If
No,
that's what
actually,
you're saying,
the same
definitely.
words.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. What I'm saying also is that the Israelite School of UPK is the solution to that problem. You understand? We're the solution to drug addiction, child molestation, and rape. The solution to murder, the solution to all of the problems that so many of us in the black community, even yourself before the show, you said, I was surprised how, I didn't know how Wilmington would receive you guys because it's wild out here. Well, you don't know every city I've been in, and I've been everywhere in my years in the truth. Every city has said that to me. So, I went to Baltimore. I don't know if y'all could do anything in Baltimore. I don't know if y'all can do anything in the Bronx. I don't know if y'all can do anything in Philadelphia. Every city believes that their city is horrible. This is what I found out. Every ghetto is every ghetto. Everywhere you go. I don't know if y'all can handle San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Right.
We went to San Juan, they said, not here in Puerto Rico, not here in the Dominican Republic. Every ghetto is every ghetto. Now, how could that be? We know that there is a power that sits on high that is making sure we molest children. And the Christian church is his spiritual arm. It's his unit of propaganda. And Commanding General Yohana has established men to go out all over the globe and tear down that system.
Could you use a different book, though?
No, we cannot use a different
With all the books that's been written, with all of the nations that we have, you couldn't use a book written by Dr. York.
None.
You couldn't, excuse me, you couldn't read a book that was written by Dr. Ben.
Excuse me,
You couldn't.
no.
I'm just.
I got you.
I'm just saying there was books that are
been many
written.
books.
Right. So I'm saying, why would you use the same
Bible?
book that the Christians use?
I'll completely explain it to you. And this is something very hard for a lot of people, my brothers and sisters in the conscious community, to understand. I'll explain it in this way.
Probably because they need to overstand it, right?
The Christians, you're a chef. Now I'll go and I'll say, well, you know, I'm a chef. I can't use salt. You know, I can't use butter. I can't use spinach because my enemy eats spinach and he eats spinach. Here's the problem. Your enemy has eaten that spinach and grown healthy on that spinach. And you reject that spinach thinking that's white spinach. I can't eat that spinach. That's the white man's spinach. Meanwhile, your enemy says, yeah, this is white spinach. And he keeps eating, and he keeps eating, and he gives you chitlins and hog maws. And you are happy with it because chitlins are black.
Right.
Hog maws are black. This is a black thing. Chitlins and pig feet. This ain't that white spinach, that white kale. I can't eat white kale. I eat chitlins because that's black folks' food. Here's what General Yohana found out. Spinach is black food. And that pig is his.
That's
the
right.
white man is such a devil that we reject the very thing that has given any race that has ever used it power. Think about what you're rejecting. Any country that's in charge, all of their cities, they have a law against murder, a law against rape, a law against stealing. Where did that come from? The Bible. Any country that ever, thou shalt not steal, you can go research this, you know I have. Thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not murder, taxes, paying a man a fair wage. Every Judeo-Christian society runs the planet Earth. Right. And we reject the Bible instead of rejecting the people.
You do realize that those commandments that you just stated, thou shalt not, comes from the 42 negative confessions.
Well, let me tell you something. I've researched this a thousand times, and that's not true.
Isn't it?
No.
Why not?
I'll explain. Because during the time of the 70s, you had so many people trying to reject the Bible because the white man is so evil. And at that time, there were so many trips being made over to Egypt to promote the Egyptian society, and black people in their sincerity, in their sincere rejection of the white man, ignorantly, and by the design of the white man, rejected the Bible. And because they rejected the Bible, they began to go and research all kinds of books that are not as old as the Bible, that were around a long time after the Bible, and go to those books and then say this book is right because it says not to murder. Then why would you reject the Bible when it also says thou shalt not murder? They begin to reject the Bible that says thou shalt not steal, but when I read it in the Harambe code, it's right when I read it in there. And I know where it comes from because I'm black. You want to reject the tool of the slave master, and that is righteous and sincere because the white man is the devil.
Right.
Here's what you don't
Wait,
know.
okay, I don't want to
I read the white man is the devil in the Bible. That's where I learned that. I learned
Even though I
the white
didn't.
man is the devil.
I didn't.
I know you didn't, but I read the Bible and learned that the white man is the devil in the
I've
book
read
of
the Bible
Isaiah.
too, but what I'm saying is I
Please.
didn't read that the white man, his actions showed me what it
Well,
is.
that's
But-
why we're here.
But what I'm I'm sorry. Did you
Please.
have a
Yeah.
question that you wanted to ask?
What is an Edomite?
An Edomite is the biblical name for the white man, for the so-called white race, for the sons of Edom.
Okay.
That's an Edomite. That's his biblical name. And when you read the Bible is a record of every race, how they started, where they came from, their origin and their end.
Oh, so the Bible told you about the rhesus monkey, that the white man was made from the rhesus monkey?
No,
DNA
that's a lie.
tells you about
No,
that?
that's a lie.
That's a lie.
That's a lie.
Okay,
It-
okay,
Please.
excuse me, sister. But so you're saying that the white man is the Edomite, which you don't like.
I can't hate him.
You hate him.
That's correct.
Okay, so then why does your book in Deuteronomy 27, right, verse 7, it says, "Do
Abhor
not
not an
abhor
Edomite?"
an Edomite because
Right,
he
you
is
can
thy
imagine
brother."
how many times I've been through
Right,
that.
right, because see, it's
I'll
a
help you.
contradiction when
It's
when,
not
when
a
you say,
contradiction.
well, you're saying you hate him, but
I
your
understand.
God says not to abhor. And what does abhor mean?
I'll explain the whole thing. This is also a misnomer, just something that people just can't understand. This is, when you saw that was shocking to you, but it was not
No,
shocking. It was
no.
not shocking to me.
No, it
To you,
wasn't
it seemed
shocking.
like a contradiction of the Bible, and that feeling of contradiction comes from your ignorance of the Bible. That's all it is. And so many people mistake.
Are you serious?
Well,
I'm
no,
gonna-
no,
I'm
no,
about to
no.
explain it right now.
Hold
I'm
on,
going
but-
into it. You
but
asked me a
see,
question.
I'm just reading. I'm reading.
I know you're
what-
just reading it, but
okay,
of course,
but-
if you
but
read
what does
anything,
abhor mean?
I'll help you. If you read anything and you don't understand it, don't blame the thing you're reading.
I'm not blaming it. I'm asking you, what does abhor
I'm
mean?
going to help you right now, but if you could just let me finish, I'll help you.
Okay.
What I'm saying right now is important to the understanding of what I'm about to show you. You are saying the Bible has a contradiction, which is what you just said. The Bible does not have a
No, I
contradiction.
did not
he
say
didn't
that. I
say
didn't say
that.
that.
Say
No, I
you
just
have,
heard.
it
No.
sounds
That's a
like a
contradiction.
contradiction
No, I
coming
said,
out
I
of
said
you.
the Bible says one thing.
The Bible,
and you're saying,
the Bible
you're saying
says
another.
exactly what I'm saying. What I'm saying I got from the Bible. Go to the scripture you're talking about. Would you like to read it?
Sure.
Go ahead.
But when I read it,
I'll go to it, and someone else give me the book of Obadiah.
Okay, now,
First chapter.
hold. Okay, see, this is what y'all like to do. Y'all like to jump around.
I know we love to
Yeah,
read the
let's-
Bible.
Right,
I
wait
get
a
it.
minute.
We
Right,
love to read
but-
the Bible.
but what
Wait
I'm
a
saying-
minute.
what I'm saying is-
We're
One
not going to
second.
even have like a debate type
I'm-
thing.
Right.
Well,
What
sister-
it is just a question and
It's a
just
question.
want to answer.
So you don't want me to show him a
No,
scripture?
I want you to answer
No.
the
to
question.
explain. You just want me to answer it.
No,
So
no,
you don't
no.
want me to
It's
pull a
just a
Bible scripture.
word.
No, that's
that-
okay.
Hand me the Bible, brother.
No,
That's
what
fine,
I'm
that's
what
fine.
I'm
No
saying
problem.
is, I want you to
I got it.
explain.
I'm gonna
this
explain
part-
right now.
This part.
I'm gonna explain
first.
right now.
Then, if you want to jump to something
I'm
else,
going to
Yeah.
explain right now.
because
and
I'm
I'll-
very, because
one
I'm very.
second,
Hold,
brother.
hold, hold on, brother.
I'm
because
going to
I'm not
explain
finished.
right now.
I'm not finished.
I'm going to
Because-
let you finish in 1 second, but she just said something. I took the Bible back so the brother wouldn't read the scripture because that makes everybody uncomfortable whenever we do that for 25 years.
Okay, well, let me read. Let me read.
I
Let me read the
understand.
chapter and verse
Yeah, 'cause
first.
you said
Can
not
I
to
just
read
finish
it.
my point right here? I'm about to make it right now.
Okay.
I'm going to explain. Can I finish my point real fast? I'll make it real quick. It'll be
all
done
right.
in 1
Okay,
second.
okay,
It takes
all
a
right,
long time if
all
I got to
right,
keep getting
okay,
interrupted.
because we're gonna
I
get
took the
into this.
Bible back. I'm going to explain that. It always makes people nervous when we go to pull a scripture. You were always going to
Nervous?
get
No.
you were always going to get your turn to read it. But if you want me to explain it without him reading it, for the sake of being hospitable in this beautiful city of Wilmington, Delaware, I'll just explain it off the top of my head. So you go ahead and read it.
Okay. It says here. Now, first of all, what does abhor mean?
Abhor means to treat someone with hatred.
Okay. So now, to my understanding, you hate the Edomite.
Yes.
Okay. So it says here in Deuteronomy 23, verse 7. It says, "Thou shalt not abhor the Edomite, for he is thy brother." Okay.
Would you like me to explain?
Now you can
What does
explain.
abhor mean?
Abhor means to hate, loathe.
I just said it just now.
Okay.
To treat someone with hatred. I hate white people. I hate white people like David said he hated white people.
Right.
He said, "Behold, Lord, I hate them which hate thee. And I hate the Lord. I hate the white man with the Lord's spirit." I don't kill any of them. I don't rape their women. I don't lie to them. You understand? A cop pulls me over, my seatbelt is buckled. I have a driver's license. I carry a gun and I have a permit to carry that gun. I lock my doors, and when I go into
Me
the bank,
too.
I
Me too.
say please and thank you to every white man I see that helps me in the bank. I don't treat white people with any hatred at all. It would be wrong if I did like many of my brothers have done, the Black Panthers, the Nation of Islam, many in the so-called conscious community, who have set about to go and kill white people and shoot white people and rape white women and have sex with, what's the term? I want to do to white women what their fathers have doing to my people, and they go, you've heard it.
I'm not
No,
going that
I know,
far.
I know,
No,
never
no,
you.
no.
But a lot of people who hate white people have sex with their daughters. I don't touch their daughter. I don't do anything hateful to white people at all. Read from where you were right there. Abhor not an Edomite. Go.
Right. And, oh, hang on. You want me to read on?
Abhor not an Edomite.
Okay, read on.
Please.
Okay, thou shalt not abhor the Egyptian.
Thou shalt not abhor the Egyptian. Go ahead.
Because thou was a stranger in his land.
We were in the land of Egypt, living amongst them. And we were never to kill them, to stab them. Moses murdered an Egyptian and went on the run from murdering that Egyptian. And then the Lord, after 40 years, sent him back to Egypt.
But why did he run?
He ran because he was wrong for murdering that Egyptian.
Okay, but when did he get the 10 Commandments?
He got the 10 Commandments after he came back, after the Lord came to him and changed his spirit.
Okay, so if he ran, why did if he got the 10 Commandments after he left Egypt? So why did he run if he did not do anything wrong?
I'll explain.
Let me say, can I ask you, because I'm,
Go ahead.
okay, it says
No,
about
hold
the
on,
Edomite.
excuse me, sister. He didn't answer the question about the
Trying.
Edomite.
I just tried. She stopped me.
No,
I was
no,
about to
no,
do it.
No, you keep going on
Just-
and on. You
Just
you
tell
have,
me that, what's the question?
Why does your book
Uh-huh.
say do not abhor the
Because
Edomite?
we
because
are
thou
not,
is our brother.
Because we are not to abhor Edomites. We are not to treat them hatefully.
But
and
you do. I've seen you.
Do I kill an Edomite?
No, you treat them badly.
What does that mean?
Well,
If you stand on the corner
and yell and
scream and holler.
I've
So
heard
what-
you
so wait a
stand on
minute.
the corner.
So standing
I've
on
heard
the corner
you call
speaking loud is hating,
No,
is treating them with hatred?
I've heard you
It's
call
not.
them devils. I've heard you call them crackers.
That's
I've
sad.
heard you call them
I understand, brother.
rapists,
Well, I understand.
murderers.
Well, let me help you.
So is
Maybe
that treating
I'll
them
get you.
badly?
No, it's not at all. It's,
Wow.
What I'm doing, what we do to white people, is not only is it not hateful. If a white man had any
devil.
sense of conscience, he could take our correction and correct himself. If he had any conscience of himself,
Well,
the
I agree
Bible
with
said
that.
the Bible
I agree
says
with that.
if he would restore the pledge, if he would give back what was stolen, would he not be accepted? If the white man would actually listen to what we say, the white man could leave from our camp and go, yeah, you know what these brothers are saying is true. Maybe I won't invade the next country. Maybe I won't kick the teeth out of the next brother on the ground. Maybe I won't murder children by 500,000 a year. And my speaking to him is evil to him. Listen, it might be rude, but it's true.
Right.
It may be
Listen,
true,
I-
but
You understand?
This is, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
can
go
I say
ahead,
one
go
thing?
ahead.
Okay, are you sure that the Edomite in this book is stating that it's the white people that you
Positive.
Why are you getting that the Edomite from this book is
How do I know that
Yeah,
Edomite
it's
is? I'll explain. If the brother could go to the book of Obadiah 1 and 7.
actually ask him to do it because he
You
can
now you
write.
want me to go there?
No, I have no. He just wanted you to answer that
I'll
particular
get it
thing.
on.
No, we have no problem.
He
I'm
asked.
going.
I thought you wanted me to pull it that
I'm
fast.
just curious to make sure
But-
because
I got
I've
you.
seen a lot of black red people. You know, the twins that were
Mm-hmm.
born and one was this and one was that. Because really and truly, I feel like Adam and Eve was making it a white man.
Okay, that's not true. But
But I'm saying that's not true to you. It's just true to
I'll help
me.
you out. I get you. You know I've heard it 1,000 times.
No, I don't know if I don't know if you've heard that
I
1,000
still don't
times,
see
or
it.
even the concept of
You
why.
want me to go ahead and do it or not?
Yeah, well,
I
because I
do.
still don't see how that was an
I know
answer.
that. Listen,
Because
I totally get it, and I understand
Right.
why you don't see it. Let me read
Right.
this real fast. Give me the book of Obadiah.
Because it's
Cut 'em on
not.
count.
That's why you don't see it.
exactly.
Because it's not, to your understanding, it's not.
Right. To my
Gotcha.
overstanding,
To
it's
your,
not.
to your overstanding, it's not.
It's not.
Let's go ahead and read it.
The book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord God concerning Edom.
Concerning who?
Edom.
Concerning who?
Edom.
Keep going.
Kanawakan. We have heard the termor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen.
Go ahead.
Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle.
Let me explain. The Most High created war and conflict with this people, Edom. And the Lord created it because no other people on the earth would dare stand up to the white man. The white man has been the evilest seed on the earth.
True.
Since the Macedonians, since Cain, since the snake in the Garden of Eden.
Right.
And do you know how many battles I have to have with black people over how I speak to white people?
I don't know why you have to have none.
Finish.
I want you to
How
speak
many
to my
times to where I'm in Wilmington, Delaware,
Right.
with more cocaine than Los Angeles,
Right.
more heroin than a city 3 times its size. And of course, the first question is, why do you speak to white people the way you do?
No,
That's
that-
so.
you
Hold
need
your
to
point, sis.
hurry
That's
up,
so
because I'm
wrong
gonna-
and evil. Let me explain to you.
Make sure
The
that
Lord
you understand this.
created war
Right.
in the minds of people to go against white people because the white man's grip on our mind is so strong. Even when we think we're against them, somehow we end up fighting for them.
Right.
Somehow we end up opening up the Bible and telling people, you are treating white people wrong.
You are
even
incorrect.
if we are against them. Skip down to the 7th verse.
Colonel Wakan.
Okay.
Verse
after
7.
he does that, after
He's got to go to 10 and he'll be done.
Colonel Wakan. Verse 10.
7 and
Ver,
10.
verse 7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border.
The white man has so many people who are his Confederates, allies, who love him and he trusts them, and these allies have puffed up his heart. You wonder why white people kick the teeth in of black people in Wilmington, Delaware, shoot a man that's in a wheelchair. I'll tell you why. Because he is so puffed up and proud by people who constantly reaffirm his seat as God on the earth. The white man, you know, I've been in the truth since 1995. I have never gotten in a battle at camp with a white man that said, you are wrong for saying Jesus Christ is black. Never. Can I even count how many times a black person has said, you're wrong for saying Jesus Christ is black?
But do you know why?
Constantly.
Hold
One
up.
second, brother. Do you know wherever I go, no matter how downtrodden the city I go in, sometimes I forget about it, like I forgot tonight, that I'm going to have to deal with how we treat white people and how we talk to them. Because the white man has Confederates. Well, those Confederates have puffed up his heart enough to get in wars that he should have never got in. Keep going.
Colonel Wakan. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee.
Keep going.
And prevailed against thee.
Keep going.
They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee.
Read that again.
They, Salagi,
Please.
they that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee.
They that eat thy bread have laid a wound unto thee. The white man takes care of so many people, man. We're raised by white people, going to white schools, eating white food. He takes care of us like a father does a child. The problem is he's a bad father, man. And he teaches us something that's so wrong, whether you're on the right hand or the left. He's teaching you something that hurts you but helps him. Skip to 10.
Colonel Wakan. Verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob.
Against who?
Jacob.
No, skip above it for the brother to understand.
Colonel Wakan. Verse 9. And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be
Skip
dismayed
down past that.
to the
For
end
thy violence.
for thy violence against thy brother
Slow that
Jacob.
down for the brother. What's your name again, warrior?
Haru.
Haru. Slow that down for Haru. For thy. Nice and
For-
slow.
don't need
For-
You pull the
Right.
scripture, Haru. Let me just
Wrong
pull mine.
For
Right.
thy violence.
For thy violence.
Okay, I have no
One second,
problem
Haru.
with that.
One
Yes.
second, Haru. You pull the scripture.
But I don't
Go
have
ahead.
any problem with what
Against
you're
thy
Let
saying.
it come
brother
out,
Jacob.
Haru. Don't
That
fight
one.
against it, Haru.
I'm not fighting
Go
against
ahead.
it. I'm just trying
Against
to get
thy
you to
brother
answer
Nice and
the
loud,
question.
Desire One.
Against thy brother
For
Jacob.
thy violence. What is violence, Haru? Violence ain't rude talk. Violence ain't yelling. Violence ain't, the white man is the devil. The white man did a lot more than call us names.
My brother.
Okay.
One second, Haru. I got to
Wait
break
a
the
minute.
scripture down because you pulled
Okay,
one.
but wait a minute,
For
though.
thy
Hold on,
violence.
wait.
hold on.
Go ahead.
Let me say
Against
this
thy
one
brother
thing.
Jacob.
Against who?
Thy brother Jacob.
Against, no, slow that down for Haru. Thy what?
Brother Jacob.
Thy brother. Jacob and Esau were brothers.
Okay, but you
one
don't
second.
have to
Haru,
explain
can I
that.
just
Let
finish?
that to me.
Thy
No,
brother
no,
Jacob.
you don't have to explain
For
that to
thy
me, brother.
violence against thy
Because
brother
when-
Jacob.
on that
What's
aspect-
gonna happen,
Come for a
Desire
church
One?
Shame
I
shall
agree.
cover thee.
I
What shall
agree with
happen?
you.
Shame shall cover
How
thee.
do you cover someone in shame, Haru?
You pull up their dress and show them and
You show
expose
what?
them. Expose them
You
who they really are.
expose them, Haru.
to
You
who they
damn
are.
right, Haru.
Right. But
You
see, this is what I'm
expose
saying,
them,
brother.
Haru.
I
And
have
Haru,
no problem
what
with
Commander
one has
General
no
Yohana
problem
has
I don't
with
have
that.
no problem with that.
is expose the white man, not shoot him
Right.
like the Black Panthers, not
Why
molest
you bring?
their
Why are you
children,
bringing up? Why you
not
backbiting?
molest their children
Why
like
you talking about the
Dr.
Black
York,
Panthers?
not molest the kids.
Oh, there
not
you
rape
go.
their women.
Well, I'm gonna
But
wait
you know
till
what
you
we
get
do
finished.
to the white man?
Are you done?
We not yet. We expose
You need to
them
hurry up
as
then.
God commanded.
Okay.
Right.
But
Well,
that's
let's not be.
fine.
Wait a
Sorry,
minute.
I appreciate
Excuse
it.
me.
Okay, 'cause
This
I
is
wanna get this
Talk
in.
Black to Me, and I am the host of the show. I would like the opportunity to first say to you, the first time I'm gonna go back, that I heard that the white man was a black that was from Elijah Muhammad.
I can't hear you.
The first time that I heard that the white man was the devil was not from the Bible, but Elijah Muhammad. Second, all that you just went through, very conscious on this side. So everything that you got to say about the enemy, we okay with it. Okay, just need to know
Yes,
that.
yes,
No
we're
one,
fine
wait a
with
minute, wait a minute. No one was saying anything to you, okay, pertaining to what is said in the Bible. What we're trying to say is that because the Bible says that, we got a problem with it. You see what I'm saying? I do.
So
For
do I.
it to say that you're not supposed to treat them with any form of vengeance is a problem for me. Okay, that's what you need to first overstand that. Don't even understand it. Overstand it. That's the reason why it was being brought up. Two, I wanted to make sure that we were on the same page about all these names in here that are European names: John, Joseph, Matthews, Jacob, all of these names. And Jesus, when you bring up Jesus, I see Jesuses all the time. I look at you as a Jesus, him as a Jesus, me as a Jesus, him as a Jesus. I don't see the Jesus in here. I just see it as a representation of a person that is doing just what you're doing, or just what General Yohana's doing, or just what Malcolm, just what Elijah, the Black Panther Party, all of them. Third, please, I don't know what the rules and regulation is for your camp, but I come from an Islamic, Nuwapian background, and I don't backbite my brother. I don't care what they say that Dr. York did. If I wasn't there and my eyes didn't see it and my hands didn't touch it, then I'm not going to say my brother did it if I didn't see him do it. You understand? And as far as the Black Panthers, Black Power, and I bow to them every single day for their effort into trying to help us, like I bow to you, brothers, for whatever you believe in, for whatever you are doing that you feel as though it's going to help us as a people. I bow to you for that, okay? The only issue that I have is some of the things that you're saying and the people that you are against. I think the time frame and the wording is off, okay? When I go into Isaiah 19:25, it actually says that you're not supposed to be yelling and screaming. And actually, you can get your point across without it, because I think that y'all have a strong brotherhood, and that's what I'm interested in, how that became. You know, how you got a brotherhood that's strong. But I do not believe in no way, shape, fashion, or form that we need a Bible to show us how to be brothers or sisters, as far as that's concerned. As far as Egypt,
because by nature, okay, when we were over in the motherland, okay, we lived righteously. We don't need
and
a
we didn't
book.
have that book.
Right, and we did not have this book because through the transatlantic slave trade, that book was forced upon us by the so-called Edomite, the Caucasian, because I don't call him white, he's Caucasian.
Caucasoid.
Caucasoid, okay?
Devil dog.
That religion was forced upon us because when we were kidnapped and brought over here, we were taught English, okay? Because when we were over in the motherland, because see, this is not our native tongue. We did not speak English over there in so-called Africa. When we were brought here, we were taught English, and the first thing they gave us was this Bible.
Yes, and used it against us.
And use it against
and
us.
Here's the thing, okay? When you speak on Christians, okay, I don't see you being no different. I come from a Christian background as well.
We all
okay?
did.
What I'm saying is, when I hear you speak, the only thing that I see different is you add in what you want to say about what's going on in the black communities, and you add in your whole outfit here. You understand? But I really don't see it as, because at one time you weren't allowed to be gay in the church and things of this nature. This is Johnny-come-lately stuff where they're letting gays come in the church and this, that, and another. This ain't something that's always been, because I grew up, you know, we're against homosexuals in every church I done went in, okay? Nowadays, because they'd have made some law that gays can come in and it's discrimination if you don't let them in. You know, we're dealing with this now, but you know a few years ago, if you're anywhere near my age, you know we wasn't for that. It wasn't even popular in the black community. Nowadays, it's like that. So, you know, bringing that up, I'm confused
and it even speaks
on that.
about it in your book.
Right, so we all know that.
Right,
we know
so that's nothing new.
We know.
But see, the so-called black church has been corrupted through your Edomites, because they help.
If that's what an Edomite is,
right?
If that is,
right.
If the European
okay,
is
well,
the Edomite.
I'll say the European.
But I'm gonna skip. Can I skip the
ahead.
subject real quick? What do you think that you can offer our young black men here? Okay, is it a brotherhood that you can offer them? Because I'm trying to figure out. You're here, you're in Rodney Square, where there's a lot of people going back and forth. Okay, what is it personally you can offer our brothers here? Because y'all do have a brotherhood. I'm trying to figure out what can you offer them, because this ain't, unless it's explained a certain type of way, this is not the book. Because it just keeps them stuck some form, in a Christian form in a sense. So what I'm saying is, and you saying that you have solution, as I stated, I have come from an Islamic, Nuwapian, somewhat Israelite background, okay? Somewhat, because of the nationality purposes, okay? So I'm asking, when I say that, because I do believe that we're all of it. I think we're all of it, because they stole bits and pieces from our past, in other words, to get to where we are now. So what is it that you want to offer? You came here to Delaware. You see that there's, what you said, a lot going on with cocaine, dope, fighting, killing, with our brothers, unemployed, things of this nature. What can you offer them as a brotherhood economically? Can you bring them together? I'm asking. Can you bring them together where they would be able to see that by not trusting each other is another form of white supremacy and slavery? So I'm trying to figure it out. Is the ISUPK strong enough to bring the brothers together to say that we can trust each other? I can take
To Zion.
to Zion. Love your name. I'm just used to calling you something different. Okay. He can be a treasurer and hold $1,000 from me, $1,000 from him, $1,000 from you, $1,000 from him, and trust. You understand that we can take this money and start a business through the brotherhood. You understand? And there's consequences if you can't, if you go against the brotherhood. Can that be offered?
Ask your question in specific, please.
Okay, I'm gonna do. My question is.
You and the brother went back and forth for about 15 minutes.
We're not talking about me and the brother. I'm talking about the question I'm asking you now. I'm asking you. ISUPK is here in Delaware, which is something new to the eyes of the young people here. What can you offer them that will take them out of the mindset of I can't trust you?
I'll explain. I'll answer your question. What the Israelite School of UPK offers under command of General Yana is something that the Muslims couldn't offer, the Nuwabians couldn't offer, the Christian church couldn't offer. Righteous leadership. You know what we'll do to this city? We'll lead them. That's what we'll do. We'll do what the Christians didn't do. We'll do what the Black Panthers didn't do. We'll give you a brother to follow.
Okay.
We'll give you a man to follow that will lead you in righteousness. Imagine a Christian preacher, so you can get it, who won't steal your money, who won't go buy a Mercedes-Benz and a Rolls-Royce with your money, who won't squander your pennies that you give him, that you desperately need, on his own selfishness. What will we do? We will lead. We'll lead every brother who's a Crip and a Blood and a felon and a murderer and has warrants. We'll take all of them and offer them the thing that people who came before us who knew so much, they had so much knowledge of self, didn't they? Didn't they, Desire want to knock? They knew so much and had so much overstanding. They end up in jail just like the brother who they pretend to lead.
So
to
what
follow.
Wait a minute.
If I could just finish. They end up in jail just like the brother who they pretend to lead ends up in jail. You know what we offer? Leadership. righteous leadership. Leadership worthy a beautiful, righteous black city like Wilmington, Delaware. Wilmington, Delaware deserves a good leader after so long, don't they? They had enough of the other thing. They have had everybody else. Right. They've had a ton of overstanding and hallelujah and Jesus. I'll give you something else that they've had. They've had the white man saying, we're giving you the Bible, and meanwhile the white man actually only gives them their corruption of the Bible. Right. And so because of that, black people think after 400 years, they were given the Bible. They think they've had the Bible. Right. Like every day I show a black person something he's never seen in the Bible. And yet, if I could just finish, and yet he still says, the white man gave us the Bible. Well, if you've had the Bible, then why is it you've never seen this scripture before? Since you had it, I'll tell you why you've never seen these scriptures. Because you weren't given the Bible in slavery. Why do you think they burned the eyes out of black people in slavery? For reading overstanding? They burned their eyes out because they were reading the Bible at night. The brother came out with a movie just now, Nat Turner. Nat Turner overstood something. You know what he overstood? Deuteronomy. That's what Nat Turner overstood. Exodus. That's what Nat Turner overstood. Nat Turner didn't sneak out. Nat Turner didn't sneak out. Right. He didn't sneak out in the caves at night and read the 12 laws of Haptum Rami Steel Cone. He went out in the clay, and if I could just finish.
No, actually, because I asked you a question, but you did already. But we're not talking about Nat.
You telling me I'm done?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so as long as you get this point, that we will offer what the Nation of Islam didn't, what the Christians didn't, we'll offer what Nat Turner offered. Okay. We'll offer that.
Well, wait a minute, let me say this one thing.
We'll offer the Bible, which is what Nat Turner offered his people.
Basic information before leaving Earth.
The Bible, which is what told Nat Turner he shouldn't be a slave. Right. He should be free.
Okay.
Please.
Now, first of all, you got to be very careful. If I was General Yohana right now, I would say to my students, okay, first of all, backbiting is a never, okay? To put down what your four brothers did, the nation, the Nuwapian nation, even somewhat some Christian, any group that you just mentioned, that is slander and that is backbiting. And it's in Islamic, you actually are disrespecting your brother. That's not good leadership. You should say to your brother, and I'm not saying what you have to say, but I would expect you, because I have you on my show today because I respect the fact that you do have a brotherhood, and no matter what I may feel or that we may not agree on, the fact is you're bringing something that could try to help us as a people, as well as the Nation of Islam, as well as the Islamic Salafi, as well as all of the organizations that you just mentioned. But to backbite and slander your brother, that is not good leadership. You cannot come here to people here and think that you could say that and sit and think that that's good leadership, because it's not. You're supposed to uplift your brother and your sister with things that they've tried to do in the past. You can't put them down, because I can look at you and say, have you studied Islam? No, because if you study Islam, you wouldn't be yelling and you wouldn't have to yell and scream on the street. You wouldn't be slandering and backbiting your brother, because you weren't there, again, I should say. You weren't there with Dr. York, and he offered quite a bit to us as a people, land, everything. So to put him down was wrong.
And also Elijah Muhammad, the work that he did.
That was wrong.
The work
for
that
Elijah Muhammad
brought people, the same thing that
still
you're trying
got a
to
nation.
Do, he brought people off drugs.
Just in another name.
And what are they doing? Leading everybody to Scientology.
But regardless, we're not talking about Farrakhan. We're talking about Elijah Muhammad.
What he did, you can't forget.
But you're leading us to the Bible.
Yeah, but you cannot forget the work that Elijah Muhammad did.
Right, because you wouldn't be where you are if you didn't have that still within you.
Leading us to Arabs is not helping us.
No,
out.
I'm not saying leading us to Arabs.
No.
What
Leading us
I'm
out to
saying,
Arab
but that's
gods is not
but you
helping
already
us as
know
a
that
people.
that's not right. You know
That's
that
not
he's not
helping us
leading
as
us
a
to
people.
Arabs.
No,
You know he's not leading us to more slave traders.
You guys just let me know. You know, I'm very happy to be here on your show tonight.
And I'm happy that you're here, but I don't want you
I
here.
understand, but if you could-
I
if you
want
could-
ISUPK
I
to
got
be
you.
leaders.
understand.
I want you to be able to bring our people in,
if I could
and
just
they be
finish-
able to trust
if
you.
I could just
But
finish
talking
my-
about
if I
people
could
who
just
they
finish
may
my point
love,
1 second.
because when you say something
If-
about the Nation of
if
Islam,
you
you're
would
saying
like
something
me to
about
answer your question,
Malcolm
you
X, as
just
far
gotta
as
tell
I'm
me.
concerned.
Tell me when you want me to answer a question. If you want me to answer a question,
Well,
I
you got to
will.
wait until I ask one.
Well,
Well,
whenever
you
you
never
ready.
I was
answered- you
actually
never
making
answered
a
mine.
statement.
You never
I never got
answered
to
mine.
yours.
You never answered mine.
Whatever one you want first.
Okay,
I'll
but you
answer.
can't. But you keep on saying something about General Yohana. I don't think General. I'm not sure, but I would hope that General Yohana, as a leader, okay, would not agree with you putting down our other brothers and sisters that have tried to do something to help us, because we can get from any of them. There's something from each one of the camps that can be offered to us that we can take from, learn from, and become better people.
Says, I can prove that you're wrong if you want. Now listen.
You can prove it?
Yes, I can. If I can prove you're wrong about what you're saying that I'm saying. Now, if you want me to do it, I'll do it. But if you don't want me to do it,
No, I'm just saying.
You know,
it's not whatever you can.
No problem.
Whatever you
If you-
think
if
you
you-
can prove.
do you want me to- do you want me
can't
to
prove it.
respond?
You can respond,
Okay,
but
I'll
it's
help
not.
you.
But the proof is,
Well, more
what
than
it
likely-
is we shouldn't be backbiting our
If you
brothers
don't want
and
me to
sisters.
respond, you just have to tell me.
Actually, to be
But
honest
if
with
you want
it's
to
gonna
believe
sound
the
childish,
truth, you don't want to hear it.
Listen,
I didn't think you did.
I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear us putting each other
I got
down,
you. I got
because
you.
there's
I
no
understand.
wrong and there's no
I understand.
right with what's happened
I
to
got
us
you.
as
Well,
a people.
Well, if you want, I can explain. I'll explain. All right, so you can try to overstand it. Give it a shot.
Yeah, I need
All
to overstand it, because right now I don't.
Let me explain. Let me explain. Many people, right? Many people see the love that the Israelite school of UPK has for our brotherhood and what we teach and the things that we do for the black and Hispanic community.
Right.
And because of that love, they don't understand why we are against everyone else. And this, if I could, this is very hard to understand for a woman especially. You know what you're seeing? When I speak about the Nation of Islam, and when I speak about the Nuwabians, and I speak about anybody who sincerely, which is what I said earlier, sincerely tried to step up and to help black people, and I see them fall into the same old trap over and over again. What you hear
Excuse me.
coming from me is loyalty for the Israelite school of UPK. And to a woman, it's hard to get it because, of course, in a woman's mind, not you speaking, but many women,
Right. Make sure we.
in a woman's mind, love everything, like everything. Like if you, I didn't
What
know you.
woman?
If I could finish, if you want me to, I believe you invited me here to make a point to speak, and if you want, I will. Like if you, I don't believe that you're a member of the Nation of Islam, either one of you. I don't believe that either one of you are a member of the Nuwabians. Yet and still, you have an allegiance to the Nuwabians and a respect for Farrakhan, or you don't respect Farrakhan, I'm assuming.
I never said that.
Okay, you
I
do
never
respect
said
him,
that
he
because
don't.
Scientology
Elijah
was brought up.
Muhammad, you respect him.
I respect
Neither one of you are in
you.
those groups. Neither one of you are in those groups. You're
I'm
members.
a part of every group
you are-
I just
That's my
mentioned.
point I'm trying to make. You're a member of every group. Let me tell you how I live.
That wasn't the point you
And
just said.
I'm going to
wasn't.
explain it to you right now how I live, and this is the only way through study and trial and error
Am I a
that
part
I
of-
know
is-
that
am I a part of your
anyone
nation?
can be helped. I love the Israelite School of UPK and no other group.
That's right.
None. None. And not only do I not love them, I, as a black person, have sat back for years and watch everybody talk a ton of love for them and leave them and not be with them anymore. And then you know what I say to myself? Even the people that like them aren't in them.
Didn't
Even the
Sankofa
people,
leave?
even the
Didn't
people
like
who
that?
are, even the
Sure did.
people who
The Sankofa left,
support
didn't he?
Elijah Muhammad, they didn't stick with his son when he got in charge of the Nation of Islam. Even the people who support the Nation of Islam, they don't believe in Farrakhan worship and Scientology. I see people who claim to love organizations but have no loyalty to those
Well, I'm
organizations.
just gonna let you know that
Let
I'm
me
very
explain the
loyal.
Israelite School of UPK.
'Cause you wouldn't
I
be
don't know
here
what
if I
anybody
wasn't
else does. I
loyal.
know what
And then
I
I have
do,
some
and I know what
concern for
Commanding General Yohana taught me. I love the UPK because I see the steadfast, earnest, righteous leadership that it adds to black people. I see our members don't fill up the jail fill up prisons full of Muslims.
Right.
Our brothers take brothers out of prison.
Right.
We keep them out of prison. Now, nobody's stopping you from liking these men who you've liked since the 60s.
Love. Make sure you say
Love them since the 60s. Just not join them. Just not be a part of them. Just not be on the roll. But I am on the roll of the UPK. I am in it. You get my? I ain't respecting General Yohana from afar as a good leader. I'm with him when the cops come up on us and tell us to get off the corner. I'm with him when the white man says when the FBI, who has met with me, how many times? 5 times? I done had to sit in front of the FBI that wants to know what we're about, what we're doing. I'm not just respecting him from afar. I'm being led by him. Now, if you want to follow that, I suggest you do. Or you can have fond feelings of Elijah Muhammad. Why not?
Fond feelings. I respect
or you
him.
can
I
join.
bow
Or
to
you
him.
can join.
I respect him.
Or you can join the holy ranks
Oh,
of the Israelite school of UPK.
I have to join something that I think I already am.
You can do
I
whatever
thought
you
you
want.
said that the Israelites are our nationality. Am I correct to say that?
Well, like I said to the brother earlier, you assume because you don't understand something, you come against the truth when you hear it. When I could explain to you what an Israelite actually is.
No, that's not what I said.
No problem.
What I am saying is I have never left the Nation of Islam. I deal with my brothers that are and my sisters that are in the nation almost every day. I have never left the Nuwaubian Nation because I deal with, I just got off the phone with Sakina earlier.
You're the Nuwaubian and the Nation of Islam?
Excuse me, because I choose to have to be a part, to take myself and be a part of the Moors, to be a part of the nation, to be a part of the Nuwaubian nation. I take the goodness from each part, the Israelite camps, every part where I feel as though I can learn something that will help me be a better person, that will have me respect my brothers more than I do now, my sisters more, because I'm about sisterhood, I'm about brotherhood, I'm about bringing everybody together and loving each other. I'm talking about us. I'm not talking about all the 12 tribes. I'm talking about us as a people. That's me and what I think, because they're not worried about us like that, as far as I'm concerned. I'm worrying about us, okay?
Okay, well, let me try to explain to the brother where you come from, because what she's saying is, no matter what you call yourself, Nuwaubian, Israelite, Muslims, Moor, black, whatever, at the end of the day, we are all in this cesspool called America. And when the Caucasian rolls up on you, he's not going to look at you as, oh, you're from the Hebrew Israelites. He's going to blast you because he's looking at you as a black nigger.
Right.
And what we're saying is, cool, you can call yourself whatever you want. You can be a part of whatever organization you want to be a part of. But what I'm saying is, my standpoint is, at the end of the day, we are all one race. And let's come together and bang on this Caucasian.
What I'm saying,
that's what I'm saying.
So what are
So
y'all
you
doing?
can,
What are the Nuwaubians doing about?
okay,
the
wait a
cops
minute.
blasting
Wait a
black
minute.
people?
but
Wait
what
a
are
minute, hold
y'all
up.
doing about it?
Okay, but
doing
listen to
something
this.
every day.
I didn't
Like
say.
what?
I said that. Let me make sure you understand what I'm saying, because I am mother. I could be a mother of 5 children that do 5 different things, but I'm still their mother. You understand what I'm saying? Because I am a feminine aspect. I love all my children, wherever you go. If my daughter decide that she want to do something that I'm not in agreement with, I'm still her mother. I can't change that. If my son decide to do something, besides be the king that you are, and not say nothing different, I'm still a mother. What I'm saying is I love you regardless to your mistakes. I love you regardless, because to me, I am your mother. I'm your sister. Okay? This is how I am. This is why I asked the Israelite camp to come, because of the love that's within me. I'm not going to say I agree. I've heard some really bad things. But I see it as, that you have your reasons for saying whatever that you're saying. The Nuwaubian nation has their reasons. The Nation of Islam has their reasons.
I'm sorry for cutting you off. What do Nuwapians do
You can't.
to help black people?
Well, see.
The same thing you're doing.
Right.
What is that?
Well, that's what they did. The same
Teach.
thing. The same thing that Elijah Muhammad did. He got our people off drugs. When they came out of jail, he got them off drugs.
So how come the jails are full of
He had
Muslims?
businesses. He
What?
put them to work. Huh?
How come the jails are full of Muslims?
How come the jails are full of Israelites?
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. How you know?
So you know.
No, how do you know?
You know
No,
Israelites.
because
How do you
because
know?
A lot of brothers
There's
went
different
to
camps of
jail.
Israelites.
Went to
they
jail.
And
converted to
became
Muslims.
Israelites.
Because you know why?
And became
Because the only
these different things.
It's a prison.
Because the
What?
only
Are you
book
serious?
you can get in the prison
Was the
is
Quran or Bible?
and the Quran. That's it.
What I'm saying to you, if I sat
Right, I
and
understand.
read this all day long, it's not going to change the fact
because
that
you don't
I'm a black
understand that
woman.
that's written by
Yeah,
a black man.
And if I could, now,
It doesn't
this
even
is-
matter
yeah,
whether
she
it was
doesn't.
written by
Listen,
a black man
the
or
sister's
not.
having a problem. She just can't understand. Don't try. Listen. There
not
are
having a
problem.
I
What
understand.
problem?
You do have a problem. And I'll explain the problem.
Okay, please
I'll
do.
explain the problem. The problem is that the things that we're bringing out, you can't relate
where?
to the Israelite School of UPK. The things that we're bringing out, you can't relate, and you don't have to relate. It's fine. Okay, no one's trying to make you understand
Don't even go
this
there.
way of life. The point is, do you have any questions that you would like
I
me
did.
to answer?
I'm asking
Okay,
the
what's
question.
the
asked you a
question?
that I
Okay,
still
because
I'm trying to
I
get
why
to it,
y'all
brother.
do
but
that? That
what's-
is so
Let me get to
irritating.
him. What's
Brother,
your
you
question?
still- I want you to explain
Go ahead.
this verse.
Okay.
Which you have
Okay,
not
I'll
explained.
do
You
it.
danced
Okay, you mean the
all around
Obadiah?
it.
You mean the one in the abhor not Edomite, right?
Right.
Okay, here it comes. Now, I hope the sister doesn't cut me off. I'll go into it right now. She's about to start. I'll go into it right now. When you read the word abhor, because of the teachings and the corruption of the Christian church, you believe the word abhor means feeling hate. You understand?
No.
Treating hate.
Okay.
But he did already
I
kind of
thought
explain
I
it.
thought
You
I
wanna
did,
say
but
the
I'll go
same
ahead
thing.
again. I got
You
interrupted
wanna say the
again.
same
Now,
thing.
but I'm
No,
gonna go at it
because
again.
A feeling
I'll-
is an
I'll try to-
emotion.
I'll try to go at it one more
take the
time.
emotion out of it. so
I
we
try to
can
go at it
dialogue.
one more time. What we say on the street about white people is not abhorring them because it is not treating them with hatred.
Yes, you are.
Okay, well, listen. Do you want me to finish it? If you don't, if
But
you want me, do you want me to
are
finish
tre-
it?
you are
you make
treating
it
them
Do you
seem
with
want
like
me to
you
finish
saying
it?
because
Yes,
you're
you
not
are.
What
beating
the
them
white
up and
man
killing
does,
them.
what the white man does
Who
to
cares how you
us
treat them and say what you
is
say to them?
abhorrence because the white man kills us.
Right. Oh,
Slaughters
It's all
us.
physical.
Oh,
The
okay,
brother just
okay,
said
well,
just now.
let me get
the
this
brother
straight.
Just, say your name, please.
Haru.
Haru said this is not about an emotion. He just said that. He
Right.
just said it's not about an emotion. It's a
Okay.
thing you do. Well, my feelings for white people are not what's outlawed in that Bible.
See, that's the
What?
double talk.
What's outlawed
That's the
in
double,
that Bible
That's the
is
double talk.
killing them.
That's
well,
the
I
double
do.
talk.
I can just look up abhor and read where it says the
Loathe.
action of hating.
It says
to
to
treat
loathe.
someone with hatred.
It says to loathe. Also
Haru,
says
you
to
know how many
loathe.
times I've looked this up, brother.
Okay,
I'd
then-
expect
But
okay,
even
I
if
mean,
you
what
look
do
it
you want me
up,
to do?
even
What
if
do you
you
want me
look
to
it
do?
up, it still don't have.
Haru,
If you can,
I'm
if
sorry,
you
what's your name
can,
again,
So
brother?
my
What's your
name
again?
is Brother Haru. So what
Brother
you're so
Haru.
let me get this straight.
Please,
Well,
get it
let me
right.
get this straight. So what you're saying is just because you don't treat the
touch
Caucasian
him.
like he treats us, you don't physically put your hand on him. You can say what you want, call him all kind of names.
Yes.
But that's not abhorrent.
Not only is it not abhorring, it's a commandment by God
somebody
Right.
gonna
to
think
do
he's
it.
slow.
You know I
Come
can
on,
show
come
you in the
on,
Bible.
brother. I don't. But see,
Listen,
I don't
you
subscribe
don't- I
to the
know
Bible.
you
Listen,
don't.
we okay, but
you
make
do
sure
sub-
you tell
but
them
you
that
do
you okay with
subscribe-
whatever they
But
say
you
to
do
them.
subscribe to
Right.
your
That's what
ignorant
they need to
understanding
comprehend.
Right, but see, but
about
you're not
abhor
getting
not
what
an
I'm,
Edomite.
you're not getting what I'm saying. Listen, you can call them whatever
say
name
whatever you want to.
because,
No, I
because
can't, Haru.
They
I can't
deserve
call
it.
them whatever I want. Because when I call them whatever I want, brothers like you fight for them and
No,
say you
who?
shouldn't call them
Right.
whatever
Now
I
come
that's
on, wait.
wrong.
Listen,
Wait.
let me
Hold
tell
up,
That's
you
hold
wrong.
up, hold up.
You
That's wrong.
love
That's
white
wrong.
people. You
then-
love them.
Oh, you are
then-
manipulative.
You love them.
and
You
you're
love
manipulative.
them.
You
And
didn't hear
because
what I
you
said.
love them,
You didn't hear
you
exactly
are
what I
upset by
said.
how we
You
talk
are
to
so
white people.
manipulative.
I'm giving
This
you
is
the
cute.
answer.
I told you.
You just said
I
to
just-
treat them.
I just
you
told
said
you
to,
that
you
you
said
can say whatever you
abhor
want to 'em.
means to treat
I
them
do
bad.
not
And
like
treating
white
them
people.
bad is not a feeling.
Right.
It's not an emotion.
But I don't
You
care
just
what
said
you
that
say to
too.
them. You can
said
say
Wait a
whatever
minute.
you want to them.
Which
Can I
is
take
why
back my
you are
show?
arguing
Can I
that
take
we're
back my
wrong
show?
for
No, I'm
what
not.
we say
Wait a minute.
about
No,
it.
I'm not.
Wait
I'm
a
saying
minute.
you're right. You're
Can
not
I
take
listening
back
to what
my
I'm saying. Oh, don't
Wait
tell
a
me what I'm
minute.
saying.
You
You're
just said it just
manipulative.
now.
I'm saying what I'm saying
You're
to you.
manipulative because you cannot answer the
Right.
question properly.
Exactly.
It's
And
making me
and
think that
properly
you're
is to-
slow.
And properly is to
Are you
is to
slow?
confirm your ignorant
Are you
understanding of the
slow?
Bible.
Don't talk like that.
Your ignorant
You
understanding
cannot
of the
disrespect
Bible is
another
a lie.
person because
It's
they
not
don't agree
true.
with you.
And you want me to
But-
tell you
what's
it's
your name?
true?
What's your name?
It's a lie, Muhammad.
Okay.
Okay,
What you're
Muhammad.
saying
Okay,
about the Bible
okay, bring it
is
down, Brother
not
Muhammad,
true.
so we can
Your
dialogue.
understanding
Okay,
of the Bible
why
is
are
not
we
true.
doing the
And
outside
you want me to
thing?
confirm it. Like you want my
No,
words to be
no,
what I think
no,
about the Bible
no.
is true.
Time for
We're not
What
talking
you
about
understand
the Bible.
about the
I'm
Bible is a
talking
lie.
about- I'm talking
we
about-
are
That's
talking about
okay.
the Bible
That's
because you
okay,
quote the
though.
scripture.
But that's
you
still
said
okay,
abhor
though.
Edomite means this.
No,
I
I
said
didn't.
it doesn't.
No, I
You
didn't.
said no, you're wrong. You're manipulating. You're
You know we're
double
going to
talking.
listen back
You
at it.
asked
That's
me
not
what it
saying
meant,
that.
did you?
But
I
What
said
I
you
am.
were
Well, guess what?
manipulating.
You are completely ignorant of the Bible.
So are
and
you.
your
So are you.
ignorance
Because
are
is
you.
clouding
because
your
you
understanding of
cannot
definitions
explain
in the Bible.
a
I'm
simple
telling you
word
what
in
it
the
says
Bible.
in the dictionary about
This-
abhor.
see,
I'm
this
going
is-
to go
this
to
is
a
telling you
break.
what it says
I'm going to
about
go to a
abhor.
break.
If you
what
ask
y'all
me the
say.
question, then I'm
Because
telling you,
if
you don't
Okay.
know what abhor
that you
means.
loathe them.
You
Okay.
don't
I don't
read
care
the
You
Bible.
obviously
You
don't
understand
either.
the Bible.
Wait a
And
minute.
But what I'm
and
saying-
because you don't understand it,
Okay,
you
we're
can't
gonna go to
understand
a
what I'm
break.
saying.
We're
Listen,
not going to
listen.
go to a break.
Listen, brother.
We can go
I
to a
agree-
break. No,
Let's
we're not
keep
going to.
going.
Yeah, listen.
Okay.
I agree with you.
Wait a
brother.
You
minute.
don't agree.
How
Wait
you
a
gonna tell me,
minute.
but
Because of
how
your
you gonna
words.
tell me?
I
you gonna
said
tell me
this
what I
is
agree?
my show, and because I have this on, I cannot get up. But I'm going to ask for peace for my brothers right now, okay? This is a situation, okay? What he's saying is that the Bible is saying not to do something that we want to do, okay? And that we do. They say mean things to us. We say mean things to them, okay?
'Cause I
That's
had
just
no
how it
respect
go,
for 'em.
okay?
None.
We over here is very conscious, and we do not uphold to anything that has been done to us.
Sis, can I ask you a question?
Okay, I'm trying to figure out.
Now-
Just excuse me, I'm trying to figure out.
Because I don't
what you're
hate
saying.
anybody, but do
Okay.
I like the
But wait a minute,
Caucasian?
we're going to
No.
have to come back and do
And if you
another
wanna
show.
talk to them any-
Because
wait,
wait a
good.
minute, hold up.
Good.
Hold
Good.
up.
Good.
Hold
You don't like
up.
white
I'm
people.
trying
Huh?
to say that
how
we're
you
going to
feel about
have
white
to
people.
come
I
back
do not
to
like that.
another
But
show.
you don't hate right? What's
I-
the
Can you
I
wait
don't
a
hate
minute?
anybody. I don't vibe.
Excuse
I don't
me.
vibe on that.
He
on-
never
on
said
that
it was a
energy.
difference. What
He
I'm
ain't saying
saying
it's
to
a
you
difference. Let him
is
talk.
that we may have to do
What's the
another
difference between
show.
not liking him and
We
not
may
liking
have
him?
He
to.
answering the question.
Okay,
What's the
I'm
difference?
asking my children at this
What's
point
the
to be
difference?
quiet.
What's the difference?
What I'm
Haru?
saying. What I'm
This is
saying.
Talk Black to Me. I'm sorry that we're going to have another show. The hour has went very fast. So I'm going to either have to get more time and come back at you and talk black to you.
Yes, because we need to.
We need to
do this
come
together.
back. We're going to have to make this number 3. Thank you for being with us this evening.